Assassinating Hope. Assassin's Creed Rogue.
About time you showed up.
Of all Shay's former mentors, Hope has to be the most frustrating to deal with. He needs to go hunt her down in an enormous mansion in New York, but she's got a real thing about poison. She drugs Shay with an airborne toxin that makes him slowly die if he stops moving. So you're stuck chasing her around in a circle and trying to find hiding spots where, if you pause to take a look around, you'll start to die. It's really the worst of the franchise's notorious chasing boss fights, not to mention that, as with the rest of Rogue, you're also being pursued by annoying assassin stalkers the entire time. The cake is a lie. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Do you have the wits to best me? There is cake in it if you do.
For cake, I'll answer any mind tease you have for me.
Yes, this joke was very funny, back in 2007 when Portal was still somewhat niche. It was a way of letting people know that you, like them, were a cultured gamer who had beaten this popular puzzle game. But today, it's been repeated so much that hearing anybody trying to make a joke about how the cake is a lie can really get under your skin. Apparently, Ubisoft didn't get the memo, because in 2020, they included a joke about cake in Valhalla.
I am driven far and wide on my avenging path. When I shake the forest, I rumble the fruit from the trees.
You'll find this Easter egg down in Essex, where you have to solve a handful of riddles from a guy called the Riddler. He promises you cake, and what do you know? There isn't any. It's enough to make you rage quit.
But unfortunately, I do not have any.
So the cake was a lie?
Launch of Unity. Assassin's Creed Unity. This isn't a moment within a particular AC game, but rather the entirety of Unity at launch. On Series X and PS5, Unity now performs like a dream, running at a stable 60 frames per second and really shows off its graphics, which are still impressive even years later. However, as everybody knows, its launch was a different story. It was full of bugs, some nightmare-inducing, and the high crowd density of angry Parisian peasants tanked the frame rate in all the most important areas. We fans have been spending years trying to rub out the memory of Unity's launch in favor of how the game is now, and convincing people to give it another chance.
Other initiates, assassins just like you, are doing their part to end this fight. If you need more training, more experience, you can call on them for help.
Achilles. Assassin's Creed Rogue.
He understands what these precursor sites are now. Without him, the assassins may continue their search.
We'd like to forget this moment because it was brutal and extremely sad. Achilles Davenport is already disabled when Connor meets him in Assassin's Creed 3, but Rogue took us back in time a few decades. Along with Liam, Achilles is one of Shay's final targets as they search for an Isu vault deep in the Arctic. While out there on the ice, Shay convinces Haytham to let Achilles live so he can warn the remaining assassins about the dangerous vaults.
Valid points.
Haytham listens, but then turns around and shoots Achilles through the knee, an injury that will follow him for the rest of his life. Ironic that they do this so Achilles won't forget what happened, but we'd love to forget about Haytham's cruelty.
Never forget what has happened here.
I won't.
The Stadium. Assassin's Creed 3. For years, we were clamoring for Ubisoft to give us more modern-day sections where you actually get to do assassinations, perhaps even an entire game where you stay in the modern era. Instead, they gave us these long sections of Assassin's Creed 3, where Desmond needs to go hunt down Templars and precursor artifacts outside the Animus.
We don't have time to play nice. Steal someone else's.
Bit of a dick move, don't you think?
Well, I guess you could try and sneak past security instead.
Unfortunately, Playing AC with no heads-up display, bad checkpoints, and endless guard patrols you can't get detected by wasn't actually all that fun. The Brazilian stadium level could have been great, but instead, it was a tedious chore to complete. Doge Mosnego, Assassin's Creed 2.
The heat of each one you pass over should lift you back up in the air again.
Bene. Careful, though. There's archers out on the roofs tonight.
Ezio enlists Leonardo da Vinci's help to save the Doge of Venice, the city's leader elected by Venetian nobles from Templar assassination. Leonardo provides him with a prototype glider, and his fellow assassins light fires around the city to provide smoke and continued lift form. This is also he can infiltrate the palace from above, so you have to do the entire flying machine segment only to land on the roof of the palazzo. And yes, during normal gameplay, you can simply climb to the top of it. It's a great idea to have Da Vinci's glider play an important role, but it controls so badly we'd much rather just pretend this mission never happened.
Probably just kids with firecrackers. Come, it's your move.
Platforming puzzles. Assassin's Creed Revelations.
Nothing is true.
What did that mean? A world without purpose?
Upon completing the major memory sequences of the story, you'll return to Desmond Miles on Animus Island, as he's joined by the digital ghost of Clay Kazmarek. You'll then unlock these first-person platforming segments where you have to place down blocks of different shapes and avoid obstacles, while unlocking pieces of Desmond's backstory.
The global conspiracy Abstergo. Fingers in every pie. Governments, corporations, universities.
First is the fact it took 4 games to get Desmond's backstory. Second is that the platforming sections just aren't fun. And at the end of all that, Desmond's childhood with the assassins really isn't too interesting. And you've probably forgotten it all already.
I know my easiest days are behind me, but I don't want them back. Not now.
Cesare and Lucrezia, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
The same will happen to any who defy us.
Good people of Roma, stay strong! You will be free, your time will come, I swear it!
Brotherhood really bought into the anti-Borgia propaganda that flooded Italy in the 15th and 16th centuries, though historians now believe that nearly all of the outrageous stories about the Borgias were lies. It's not likely they were any better or worse than the other noble families who had controlled Italy, but they were Spanish, and rival Italian nobles didn't like that.
Once I have secured the throne of Italia, you are going to be my queen.
A story about incest between Cesare and Lucrezia Borgia gained a lot of ground, and it appeared in Brotherhood clear as day. Not only did Ubisoft make us watch a relationship between a brother and sister play out, but it wasn't even historically accurate for it to be there. Gross.
I cannot wait.
Behave yourself while I am gone.
Mandatory child. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Real connections with people are rare. We shouldn't be too quick to let them go.
If you want to make role-playing games, it would help if you actually let players role-play Ubisoft. In 2019, additional DLC for Odyssey dropped that, among other things, forced Cassandra or Alexios into a mandatory romance that will result in a child being born. The child is necessary for plot reasons Ubisoft devised, which means that whether you want to or not, your character is going to be put into this relationship with a character you might not care for.
Promise me, Cassandra. This is our life. This is our home.
It outraged fans who were playing their character as gay or asexual, as they were then forced to be straight and have a child. Ubisoft apologized and patched it eventually.
Who's just like his grandpater, Darius.
Lucy's Betrayal. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Your DNA communes with the apple. You have activated it.
Let me go!
It remains one of the most shocking twists in video game history, when Desmond, under the control of Juno, unwittingly killed Lucy Stillman, the most interesting and popular modern-day character. Rumors circulate to this day that Lucy was killed off abruptly because of a pay dispute between Ubisoft and Kristen Bell, though neither has talked about it publicly.
It is done.
We'd like to go on pretending that Lucy wasn't a Templar triple agent, though, and that she was loyal to the end. After all, she was killed by Juno, who isn't the most trustworthy of characters, what with her wanting to control the world and eradicate humanity and all.
Awaken the Sixth. Go alone.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, there's more where that came from.